Yes, good evening. Today we are here not for adverts, not to sell, but for civic education. This is Joyland Beacons Limited, and we usually say that your space will always be your signature. Now, back to the business. My name is Samuel Karori, Director, Joyland Beacons Limited. Joyland Beacons Limited, as I always remind you, it is comprised of a professional surveyors, and also we are doing it so well in the real estate. So we are here today just to give you a civic education. And I remember last time, a day like today, 26th of February, we were able to handle matter of how to buy land on a smart way. And I believe that topic is assisting you to make some correct decisions and also to follow the right procedures. Today, my brothers and sisters, my viewers, our clients, our family, we are here to talk about understanding the land subdivision. Understanding the land subdivision, and I'm not alone. Today I have my colleague. He will introduce himself as we move forward. Karibu sana.
Asante sana bwana director.
Yes.
So karibuni sana our viewers. We welcome you from everywhere that you're watching us from. Thank you, and feel welcome as we do this live broadcast. So my name is William Muiro. I'm a land surveyor here at Joyland Beacons Limited, where we say that your space is your signature. So we are a land selling company. We are also a land surveyors company. So we have decided that we are going to be doing civic education so that we can be able to enlighten the masses, because we have found that there is a very big knowledge gap and most people are getting caught up in this because of their ignorance. So that is why we have decided at Joyland Beacons Limited, we are going to guide you guys so that you are not caught up and you have the better understanding of how you're going to do your land subdivision and all kinds of conveyancing that pertains to your land. So feel welcome, and as we start this live broadcast, karibuni sana.
So before now we get into a business of the day, to start our topic, I just want to welcome you to our live, and also I would request you to share this live to as many people as possible so that you don't benefit alone. And I also know that even them have an opportunity to learn, and because this is a very important topic, understanding land subdivision. So we shall be back in a few. Yes, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for those who are sharing. At least I can see the number is increasing. And I also request you to invite your friends, invite a friend to invite a friend so that we continue with this topic. As we said, we don't want to consume much time. Today, our topic is about land, understanding the land subdivision. I would like to hand over to William so that he give an introduction of understanding the land subdivision. But before that, allow me to remind you that in this topic, we shall be able to talk about understanding the land subdivision, the document that subdivision entails, who should sign this mutation, what is the mutation, who should sign the mutation, the process of issuing the new title deeds, how the new numbers are done, and where the count gets in this process. So we shall be able to handle the entire process, and I know it will be much helpful to all of us. So karibu sana, William.
Thank you very much. So we have a PowerPoint slides. So the media team guys can help us project the PowerPoint slides. So we are going to start with understanding land subdivision. So I hope you guys can see it. Yes, so what is land subdivision? When we talk about land subdivision in a layman's language, what do we mean when we talk about land subdivision? So, land subdivision in the layman's language is the process of dividing a large piece of land into smaller parcels that can be sold, developed, or owned separately. So, let me repeat that. Land subdivision is the process of dividing a large piece of land into smaller parcels that can be sold, developed, or owned separately. So, assuming you have a large piece of land, let's say like even 5 acres, 10 acres, and then you subdivide that land into smaller portions that maybe you want to develop, maybe you want to sell that land, or maybe you want to do any other thing. That is what we call land subdivision, as you all know it. So, why do we do land subdivision? We do land subdivision when you want to sell part of your land, maybe you want to share it among your family, or maybe you want to develop it into smaller building parcels. So land subdivision, as you know, it is not just the kienyeji way of doing it, because there's a legal bit, there's a legal aspect whereby it is recorded by the state that this piece of land, initially it was this acreage, but now it has gone through this process according to the law, and now it has created new legal parcels. So land subdivision is not something that you can just take lightly and just subdivide it in your own way without having the background or the knowledge that there is a process behind it, because a lot of people get scammed and they don't know that they are getting scammed. So they just go and look for a random person in the village who claims to be a land surveyor, but in the real sense, they don't have that background. They are just after your money. So you don't have that background. So that is why we have decided we are going to be teaching you guys about this process. So after defining the land subdivision, we go to the next slide, our next slide, whereby we get to know which are the laws and the approvals and the key players when it comes to land subdivision in Kenya. There are laws that govern land subdivision in Kenya, and as you can see in our PowerPoint slide, we have 4 of them. The first one is called the Land Registration Act. The Land Registration Act, it deals with the issuance of title deeds. It regulates, the issuance of title deeds. The other one, we have the Land Use and the Spatial Planning Act.
Yes, allow me to talk about that, William. Thank you so much. When it comes to the land use or spatial planning act, governs planning approvals. In most cases, this is where now the county government gets in. So in the county government, there is that book that was launched in 2022 about the partial development plan in Kajiado County. This is just the policies and the regulations that are put in place by the county government together with the national government to just govern how the subdivision is done across the country. So when it comes to the national government, there is that Land Registration Act, insurance of the title deed. But when it comes to the land use, this is the work of the county government. As per the Kajiado County, we have a very big book that was launched, and that is what we usually follow. It talks about the planning. It talks about the resources, how the subdivision should be done in different places in Kajiado. Let's say like Kitengela, the urban area, the rural area. Those are the policies that have been put in place by the county government to, of course, regulate how the subdivision is done. There is those places that are used by the pastoralists. Yeah, those people who put big farms for the cows. So of course you cannot go there and subdivide 50 by 100. So those are the rules, and there are some approvals that now the county have given, which we shall talk about them later. Yes.
Thank you very much. So Bwana Director has explained to you guys very well. And we also have the Land Control Act. Mostly the Land Control Act is for the agricultural land. So we have the Land Control Act, and finally we have the Survey Act. So the Survey Act, it regulates the surveying, so that you can be, as a surveyor, you can be able to know which regulations to follow as you are performing the land subdivision. So
yeah, So thank you, William. To the Land Act again, I think I have something to add, because when it comes to Land Control Act, that is what talks about the use, whether it is the agricultural, whether it is the residential or commercial. So this is the act that governs how, or the purpose now. The Land Control Act gives the purpose of why are you subdividing, what is the objective behind this subdivision. And like in Kajiado, there's places set for residentials, there are other places set for commercial, of course, urban areas, that is within the trading centers, and some places for the agricultural. So you can do the agribusiness, you can do the pastoralism, all those kind of farming. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the next slide. Who must approve a subdivision? A subdivision is not just done in an ordinary way, because there are approvals that need to be taken. And we have three bodies, or rather three categories of people who can be able to approve a subdivision. Number one is the county government. And under the county government, there is something that we call zoning, as the director has spoken about. We have the urban places, the towns, you have the rural areas. So you find that in some places, you cannot perform a subdivision for a land that is, let's say, in Karen, the minimum amount of land that you can subdivide is half an acre. So it has been zoned. In other areas, for the eighth, some go up to 0.30 hectares. Others, the minimum size of the eighth is 0.05 hectares. So that is what we call zoning. In different zones, they have different kind of rules that govern them. Also, the county government checks for the road access. It also checks for the utilities. We have the utilities that we have to ensure that as you're doing the subdivision, you have to put them into account, so that the county government is not going to come following you because you did not follow the rules. So the other body that approves the subdivision is the Land Control Board. Normally, this is done by the wazee, the barazas, under the chief, through the area chief. So the chief, through the board members, or the district commissioner. So before you subdivide a piece of land, there is something called the consent, which we are going to be showing you later. And a consent is a form that is filled in triplicate. By triplicate, I mean into three copies, whereby you will write it and say that I want to subdivide this land into 2, 3, 4 portions, of which you have to go before a board of members, the Land Control Board. It's a board of people who are they work under the chief. So sorry for that.
Sorry for that.
So they work under the chief, and they have the records, or they understand the areas of those people who want to subdivide the land. So if they give you an approval, they can give you the approval, or they can decline to give you that approval. So that is the other body that approves the subdivision. The other one is the district surveyor and the land registry. So they confirm that the survey is correct, and they register new parcels. If maybe Bonnie Director has something to add on to that.
Okay, thank you so much, William. I really appreciate that kind of an information. It is so very much informative. I just want to add something on the Land Control Board, that is the LCB. For the landowner or the proprietor of the land, the only thing required from him is that for him, he usually signs the application for the LCB, but the moment we take them to the approval, that is in the DCC's office, we have two types of board, as William have explained. One kind of board, it is the land board that happens only once per month, only once per month, and this board is governed or comprised of the board from different places within the county. So let's give me an example. Like here in Kajiado, we have few localities like Kitengela, we have Rangao, we have Shuringe, we have Kiserian. So each village, the government of course selects one person who of course later on they get gazetted, and become the full members of Land Control Board. And those are the ones that means once per month. But there is another one that is a special board, which happens now and then. And of course, again, they are entitled on it. However, it is a little bit expensive. So it depends on which one you can be able to go for. And it is also good to say that nowadays we usually pay for the land board through the Adisasa. So if you are planning to do the subdivision, it is good for you to have the Adisasa ID. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that clarification. So we are going to move to our next slide. So we told you guys we're not going to keep you for long. We want to capture the details that you need. So we are going to be looking which documents do you need when you want to do a subdivision.
Sure.
Because some people maybe they don't know what they need to do a subdivision.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you can see it on your screen. So one of the most important documents definitely is the original title deed. Nowadays there are scam title deeds, but we'll get to that. So an original title deed, what does the original title deed do for us if we want to do a subdivision? It is going to help us to identify and clarify that this land truly belongs to you. So you have your title deed, then we have official search. A search is the document that we, let's say I want to do a subdivision, or you want to do a subdivision for your land. So you have to apply for a search first at the land registry so that they can confirm that this area or this land truly belongs to you. And we are going to be showing you, the media guy is going to be showing you the search, how the search looks like. A search that has been already filled, that has been stamped from the land registry. If you have been given that search, it shows that that land truly belongs to you. So the other thing that we're going to need is the PIN certificate, that is the KRA PIN, and we're also going to need the original ID. We're also going to need something that we call the LCB consent. So the LCB consent stands for the Land Control Board consent. So what is a consent? We have told you before that among the people, the group of people who can be able to approve a subdivision is the Land Control Board, which comprises of Baraza ya Wazee, if I am going to put it in layman's language, who work under the area chief, who sit down and decide, do we give this person the consent to subdivide their land or not? So there is something that you call the application for the LCB, and one director is going to talk much on that.
Yes, thank you so much. I have seen that even our media team were able to showcase the official search. And the official search, as William is saying, it is true. It is what, of course, defines the current owner of the land. And it have another very informative information because every information that is in the original must reflect on the search. However, it does not give the history of the land. What it does, it can only showcase, the search can showcase whether the land has the caveat, any incumbencies on the land, or whether there is a loan or a restriction. Yes, let me talk about the map and the mutation. So I would like my media team to maybe showcase the mutation form, how it looks like, because a mutation is a very key document. In an official language, we usually call them LRA 27. But mutation is the document where the drawing. That means this is the subdivision you are doing. That is where we print the drawing of the survey we have done, and of course it undergo different categories for the mutation to be registered. Before the mutation is registered, as William said, it undergoes through the different approvals. I know on our slide we are able to explain it so well, but on this one, that's why the mutation, but the first owner, the first person to handle the mutation is they are sourced from a licensed surveyor, and all the private surveyors works under the licensed surveyor, and again they are regulated under the LSK. So that is more information about it. But when it comes to the subdivision, we get the mutation, we get the original title deed, the copy of the search, and even the ID and PIN for the vendor, and we are free to go. Those are some of the documents. Not forgetting, by the way, on our slides, we forgot to add a very important document, that is the consent of the spouse. The consent of the spouse. Because of maybe interest of the families nowadays, if you are a husband who is registered on the original title deed and you want to subdivide that land, your wife must, it is a must nowadays, must of course sign a spousal consent for you. That spousal consent, it is giving you the authority to do the subdivision. So that is just to avoid the conflicts and the, of course, the family disputes later on. Thank you.
What if you don't have a spouse? What if
That's a good thing. Thank you, William. If you don't have a spouse, there is a document that we call affidavit. That is so important. So you just get to an advocate who will, of course, make you to swear with commissioner of oath and affidavit. So, and if it is a company, does the spouse required? Surely it is not. Definitely, it is not required. But if it is a company, the mutation must be sealed, and also the directors have to sign the mutation. And again, you have to attach the CL12 and other document for registration of the company. If it is a self-help group, Boda Boda fraternity comes together. They don't have that power maybe to register a company, but they want to come together. Inaitwa kamweredho, tule tu group to soko na wanataka kununua shamba. That is now a self-help group where we just need the registration, the minute, the ID of the trustees, the ID and PIN of the trustees, and of course you give us the plan on how you would like your land to be subdivided.
Oh, thank you. That is well said, guys. So, the next thing that comes into the minds of most people,
I think for now, because
you can take
a short break
and breathe, and then we'll be back.
Yes,
in a few, guys. Thank you.
Here we are, guys, Kandisi, Ongata, Rongai, where we bring you Paradise View Project. As you can see, they are well-marramed roads, electricity, water, a developed neighborhood, and an awesome view of the Ngong Hills. This is only going for 1.5 million Kenya shillings with a flexible installment plan of 6 months. Give us a call on the number on your screen. Site visit is free. Come one, come all. Thank you. Thank you. At least we have taken a sip of water. Back to our topic. We are able to explain what is a mutation, the document required, different group, company, and individual, how it is the document needed on our subdivision. Now, I want us now to get into another topic. Is a subdivision possible on any land? So, William.
Yes, so this is something that is very much important, because you might claim that I have a title deed. Why am I not allowed to do a subdivision? But there are things that you need to understand. So, is it possible to do a subdivision on any land? The answer is no. Why? If the land has something that we call the court orders, a court order is an order from the court that restricts the owner from selling the land. Maybe the land has some disputes. Maybe the land has some injustices that have not yet been attended to. And so, even though you have that title deed, it might hinder, you might be hindered from going on with the subdivision. The other thing is something that we call encumbrances. As the director has said, you find that some titles, they have encumbered maybe 2 parcels of land, and both parties, they have the interest for the same piece of land, and maybe your land has entered into the neighbor's place on another premise. So that can be a reason as to why your subdivision might be blocked. The other reason,
Yes.
before adds to my point, we have also some areas that have minimum size rules. So you find that in a certain area, like I said, in Karen, you cannot subdivide a land that is beyond a half an acre. So the minimum land that can be subdivided is half an acre. So very small plots might not qualify for subdivision. So
Yes, thank you so much, William. As I answer this question, remember when we are answering the question of who must approve a subdivision. Of course, that gives you that there's rules that governs this subdivision. So it is, of course, in the same line. If maybe you are in your area, you are in an urban setup area. Let's give an example of here in Mugai, whereby the county government have allowed those titles, those freehold titles that are near this market, because we all know that the market belongs, it is an allotment or a lease title. But those lands that are touching the county lands or the market, of course, there is that minimum subdivision they can do. So that's why we are saying whether it is possible or not. The answer sometimes might be no, and sometimes it might be yes. Yeah, not all land that is possible for the land subdivision. But on the other side, the answer is yes. Why this? Because sometimes you may have a land, a big portion of land, only that you don't have a consent to sell from your family, maybe from the relevant authorities. That can be the reason why the subdivision might be a little bit difficult. There is somewhere even nowadays we have SGR with us, and there is that easement of the SGR coming all the way from Mombasa here to Ongata. We have an SGR station where we have a paradise view. There are those people who have been affected by this SGR easement. Sometimes it's so hard for them to separate the small portion that does not affect the acreage that the easement is taking. So the answer sometimes is yes, the answer sometimes is no. It is always good for you to involve an expert to have right documents. You just have the mutation, the copy of the title deed, have the map, and of course involve an expert who can be able to assist you on whether your land can be subdivided or not.
yeah, that is well said. So I hope you guys you have understood that in as much as you have the title deed, there are so many other factors that can deter you from continuing the subdivision. So without much further ado, we are going to go into the step by step, the land subdivision process. What normally takes place when we come to the ground. Now we are speaking from a standpoint of surveyors. When we come to your ground and want to perform a land subdivision, what normally goes on? So as you can see in the slide, first of all, as we have shown you in the previous the documents that we need, and by the time you are coming to your ground, we have already verified that this land truly belongs to you. We have done a proper search. We have the maps, and when you're talking about maps, they have been amended, meaning that they're up to date. So when we are coming to the ground, our first thing, as you can see in the slide, is to verify the old boundaries on the ground. There is a rule that we say in surveying that we always work from whole to part, meaning that we work from the whole, from the outer, from the larger section, and then we narrow down into the specific. So we have to first verify the old boundaries. We have to look at the beacons, whether they're in the right position, and then we have to consult with the neighbors, because maybe that piece of land, it has some disputes, and we cannot perform a land subdivision as the law binds us that you cannot perform a subdivision in a parcel of land that has disputes. So the first thing is we have to verify are the boundaries correct? Are there missing beacons?
Are the land in the right location?
Does
it has an access load?
Good. Thank you, Buana
Is
Director.
the size starting with what you told us?
Exactly.
So these are some of the factors that we check when we get into the ground. And sometimes you even want to consider having a neighbor who can tell us more information about that land.
Exactly. That is very necessary, because also from our end, we don't want to put ourselves in a very bad situation, because we have had situations where the surveyor they have been caught in situations that they cannot be able to get out of from because they did not do the due diligence from their end.
Exactly.
So when we have come to the ground and we have checked the ground, we have seen that everything is correct, then we are going to prepare something that is called a subdivision scheme plan. What is a subdivision scheme plan? In layman's language, a scheme plan is a map or a proposal of how you want to subdivide the land. So there's a rule in surveying that every portion of land must have a road access. So you cannot subdivide a portion of land yet it doesn't have the road access. Again, as we have told you, there are regulations as per the minimum area. So for most places, the minimum area is an eighth of an acre, that is 0.05, but it might differ a bit depending on which county you are from. So when you're preparing that scheme plan, this scheme plan has to go to someone we call a physical planner, and that physical planner has to put a stamp on it. And if the proposal does not match, like now we have changed. Initially, we were doing 6-meter wide road, but now for your scheme plan to be approved, the road access must be at least 9 meters wide. And they're very strict nowadays on that. So you cannot bypass that. Bypass it, but you are going to be caught up with that error because once they update, they amend those maps at the land registry, they are going to note that error. And that error is going to, trickle down to many other subdivisions needing to so many disputes. So the second thing is the preparing of a subdivision scheme plan.
To add on that scheme plan, I love the way Kajiado is doing it, and I love the partial development plan book that guides us. And because I know a layman person might not have this document, that's why the county government in Kajiado, they have decided that we must work closely with a private planner who understand these rules, who understand the size of the load. They of course guides on how the best subdivision can be done. So for us, it's just make a plan to show the owner. Of course, you append your signature on that scheme plan and submit it to the private planner, who of course now checks more whether we can affect or whether we are following the rules and whether we are in line with the policies that have been put in place. This is the reason why they have done this in Kajiado, even in the entire country, most of the places. It is because we have been having problem in the past. Exactly. Especially here in Kajiado, we have some roads that are less than even 4 meters. Yeah, wanasemanga ni ilikuwa barabara ya kupeleka ng'ombe mtoni. And now the place they are saying that ilikuwa ya ng'ombe kupeleka, ilikuwa njia ya kupeleka ng'ombe mtoni, saa hii sasa kushakuwa ni town. And these are some of the problems that we the private planner tries to ensure that we follow the law and also guides us on the matter of subdivision.
Yeah, that is well put. Yeah. So after that, we have now drawn the subdivision scheme plan and we have taken it to the physical planner. And if the plan is approved, then we have the go ahead to perform the subdivision. So we are going to subdivide the land according to the client's desire. If the client wants to subdivide the land maybe into as many portions as they want, as long as they are meeting. So we have now the go ahead, and this we do using the survey equipment. We are used to the tapes, but now technology is advancing. We are using machines that are more precise. So I know we call it the general boundaries, but nowadays it's becoming more of a fixed survey because these machines are more accurate, and we are trying to correct the errors that have been there in the past. So once your land subdivision is done, we put beacons in the new parcels of land and we mark those beacons. We have some beacons that we dig them and put them under. We call them the IPCUs. We have others that are called the angle iron, and we have others that are just on flush with the ground. So we put them in those new parcels, and then now we can be able to go into the next stage of where we are going to document, and something that we call the invitation form. You are going to be shown the invitation form and what it contains, what is it used for, and you are going to have a better understanding of what an invitation form is used for. Maybe my director, you can take us through the invitation form maybe.
Okay, thank you so much, William. As we said, the moment we understand the purpose and the use of the land. It of course guides us on even how we shall subdivide and the size we can be able to subdivide. And after the mutation have been approved, as William is saying, we of course take the mutation for the license surveyor again approve the mutation. Then after the license surveyor signs the mutation, we hand over that mutation to the district surveyor office. That is where we get the new numbers. But before the new numbers, remember when we are taking the LCB, now the LCB nowadays gave the priority the county government to issue the approvals. Yes, to issue the approval. So this scheme plan that have been approved by the private surveyor, we have to submit it to the county government in form of PPA1. Yeah, again in form of PPA1, and the PPA1 is just the application you make in the county government that we have this portion of land, we want to subdivide it, and the private planner have given us the go ahead. However, we need you as the county to help us, of course, adhere on the rules and regulations that have been set by the county government. How do we do it? We submit that scheme plan. After they have a board that sits again, another committee that sits every twice per month. So that board is comprised of private county planners, county surveyors, and sometimes they even involve higher courts like CS in land in Kajiado County. If there is a big land that have been subdivided in many portions, CS is called, because there is that land surrender as a public utility. That's a story of another day. However, after the approval in the county, you are issued in 2 documents. Okay, after the approval, they give you the invoice. So invoice is paid. You pay for the compliance, and then what? The compliance and the change of use. Because after you are subdividing a big land, that means from now henceforth you are subdividing it because maybe you want to change from agricultural to residential. Remember, I gave you 3 use in land, that is commercial, agricultural, or residential. So they usually check what is the purpose of this subdivision. If it is for agricultural, not residential, that means that area have really grown and people want it to be to make it a residential place for people to settle down. So that is a PPA, PPA 5 and PPA 2, which is compliance. Yes.
Thank you very much. I believe that you have understood that.
I think before now we can take a sip of water. We are coming back. Thank you so much. Thank you, William.
Yes.
We are now refreshened.
Now we are very much okay.
Leo tunapelekwa mbio mbio, and we really accept because we want to save time, and we want to ensure that you get this information in a very few minutes that you can be able to see. So I would like our media team to showcase the mutation. We have been mentioning mutation. So I would like them to showcase the mutation, and also as William gets into the topic of process of getting an approved mutation in Kenya.
Yeah, okay. I know that most people, they don't understand what is a mutation form, because you come to us as surveyors and we ask you, do you have a mutation?
Yes.
They have displayed it. You tell us that you don't know what is a mutation. So let me give you in a layman's language, what is the meaning of a mutation? So a mutation is a form that is filled in triplicates, and it links the old parcel of land or the mother title to the new parcels. Remember, we are doing a subdivision. So the old piece of land, the larger piece of land, it had its own parcel number, and now you have subdivided it into several portions. Now these portions, they'll have new numbers. So this mutation form, it links the old parcel of land or the mother land to the new parcels of land. I hope that is well understood. So as you can see, I believe it's being displayed, and you can see how the mutation form looks like, and it's a form that is filled in triplicate, and it is also signed by the owner of the land. It's also signed by the approved, an approved surveyor, also a licensed surveyor, and even the advocate.
Sure.
Nowadays, they have to put a stamp. So on the first page, you fill in the details, as you can see in the screen. In the second page, you're going to be shown what is contained in the second page by the media team. Is it being displayed?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the second page, you can see that the mutation form, that we have that drawing, and it's the red color. It shows that these are the new boundaries. The red color has been painted with the red, and also in the third page, we have the new dimensions and the new areas, and then the last page, you have now the new numbers that have been assigned to the new parcel. So that basically is what the mutation form contains, and is this form that is used to process the new titles of the land, and it is taken to the registry.
Yeah. And it is good to note, by the way, after you have undergone all the processes of the approval of the mutation now gets registered in the registry. And if you lead on the first page, the last statement there of the mutation, who inasema, this mutation is now fully registered and ready for the amendment.
Exactly.
So it is always important for you, the moment you have now gotten the new numbers, the small portions now have their titles, it is always good for you to take back to the cartographies or DC surveyor's office for that new parcels to be amended. And that is one of the reasons that is one of the challenges we are facing in here in Kajiado. Most of the people does not do amendments of their parcels.
Yeah.
And we urge you, anytime you do a subdivision, ensure that after the registration, the new numbers reflects in the RIM. That is registry index map.
Exactly, that is well put. So I think we have covered most of the stuff that we needed to do. Maybe one last thing before we are out, maybe some of the pitfalls and the civic duties and the public responsibilities that you as the landowner, you should avoid when you're subdividing your land. I'll name them. One of them is the family wrangles or the conflicts that arise because people have their own interest in that land.
By the way, as we continue with pitfalls and civil duties and the mistakes the common mistakes that the client commit when they are doing the subdivision, allow me to say, if you have any question, you can just put it below the comment section. We shall be able to answer you. And it's always good to remind you that our civic education, we are focused, we are just here to pass this information and knowledge to you so that you don't make this mistake that we are about to talk about. Yeah. And again, if you are in that, you have found yourself or you have been caught on those mistakes, or is not lost, you can be able to follow the procedures that have been put by the county government and the national government in place, so that you rectify and everything will be okay for you. So some of these things that we are saying, it is just to let you understand the subdivision. And it is always important to remind you, something very important. Never do a subdivision on a table. Yeah, maybe you have a piece of land somewhere and you look for a surveyor, unamwambia sitaki mama ajue unakata shamba, situikatie kwa meza. I can tell you those discrepancies are the ones that are causing a lot of harm and even a lot of disputes. Okay, as we move forward, we will talk more about them, and I know it will be much help for you. Meanwhile, we want to go for a short break again before we wind up, to remind you that we have a paradise view here in Ongata Rongai. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Uh, this is Joyland Beacons Limited, where we usually say that your space is your signature. Thank you so much, Director, because you have showcased a project we had in Rodariak. We are ensuring even Border Fraternity are getting their titles. We have a new project in Kandisi on Mataronga ESGR station, and I believe if you are free, you can also, of course, book site visit for us. I have been paid by Joyland Beacons to remind you that we are one of the real estate that is reading here in Kajiado, and we ensure that you dream it and we ensure that you achieve it. So back to our topic about pitfalls, civil duties, and public responsibilities being led by William.
Yes. So, some of the pitfalls of the civic duties and the public responsibilities that you need to understand as the landowner before you subdivide your land. So, there are things that you need to know so that you don't get yourself in a very bad place. Number one, as we have spoken, is the family wrangles, or the conflicts, because you go into a family whereby they are having wrangles, because maybe one party wants the land to be subdivided, but the other party, they have not agreed. So they have not come to a consensus. So you find that land, even if they were to go with the process, it's going to hit rock bottom because they have not agreed. So you should avoid those family wrangles or the conflicts that might arise. The other thing is,
Not forgetting,
yeah,
that's why we mentioned something about the spousal consent.
yeah, the spousal
Yeah.
consent. Yeah. Because now both the wife and the husband, they have to agree. We want to sell this parcel of land. We want to subdivide this parcel of land, and they have to put a sign in front of an advocate, to say that tumekubaliana, we have agreed that we want to subdivide this parcel of land. The other thing, as
Maybe
the
they ask
director,
maybe they might ask themselves, what if it is a couple that they have a joint title and they are doing the subdivision? What they should attach? They should just attach a copy of their marriage certificate. Yeah, a marriage copy of a marriage certificate to showcase that they are married and they have agreed.
Exactly.
Of course, the marriage certificate we are wrong. We shall of course attach the affidavit.
Exactly.
Yeah, saying that they have agreed to the subdivision.
Exactly. So the other thing is subdividing land on the paperwork, as the director has said, without going to the ground to collect data. So as a landowner, never agree to do that, or as a surveyor from my end, I should not come and subdivide land on the paperwork, because
Please, surveyors, we beseech you in the name of the Lord, don't allow those to happen. Those things, they are making us by the way drag behind. Even some of the people, the land is in a very good position, very well developed place, but some people maybe in the year 1990 they just sit down and did the subdivision on the paperwork instead of going to the ground. And some consequences is that the distances will never match. Yeah, and again the size. Naambiwa hii ni nusu, lakini ukienda kwa ground ukute hata hakuna hiyo shamba. So kindly let us follow the regulations that have been put for us to be seen.
Yeah, that reminds me that there is this land that we have been to recently that
yes, true.
It has that kind of thing.
Sure.
And it has not been very easy, but I believe that solutions are on board through the help of the district surveyor. True. So the other pitfall that you should avoid is failure to submit the relevant documents to the relevant offices for registration. If you don't submit the relevant documents, that is a pitfall, and it's going to catch up with you in the near future. So the other thing is ignoring the neighbors' rights or existing easements and access roads. Some people just ignore the rights of their neighbors, and there are rights to the neighbors. If it's a road access, your neighbor needs to have a road access. If the beacon needs to be at the center, don't build a wall on the other side of the beacon and just assume that.
I think we shall come with a topic. I think we shall showcase. Exactly. We shall come up with a topic. Showcase now the technicalities when it comes to fencing around the beacon, where you should of course align your fence on the beacon.
Because we have
Yes.
been to cases whereby we have seen that somebody
Yeah.
just bought a piece of land next, and then they have built a wall. And this wall is encroaching into the other person's life, and
True.
it's like they don't even care, or they don't even understand, or
Mhm.
maybe they were misguided by the person who sold them the person. So it's even important even for the people who are building those walls to understand that you don't just come into the place of your neighbor. You should leave that allowance for your neighbor. So the other thing that we want to talk about, the common questions that most people ask when it comes to land subdivision, and maybe the director can take us through that.
Yes. Some of the common questions and that people ask is, what happens if someone's move my beacon? What happens if someone's moves my beacon? Let me start by saying that is a legal offense. Even if you feel the person, the surveyor who came did not do the right thing, you don't have any right for you to remove the beacon. You should of course be guided by the rules. You should go and report to the chief. The chief will of course organize with the proprietor of the land, and of course proprietor can be able to summon his surveyor to come back
Mm-hmm.
and rectify the mistake. So if you are caught on that kind of a mistake, you can be prosecuted, and things might be costly unto you when we are reestablishing back that work. So I advise, sometimes things might not be done as per your expectation. It's always good to let the relevant authorities to understand your feeling, your opinion, and of course we shall arrange and make sure that you are contented with what it is happening. So if you find beacons moved, contact your surveyor and the land office immediately. Well, that is through the chief, yeah, so that chief can try and moderate the situation before even we go to the land office. Yeah, you know this land office have a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just involve your chief area or your mzee wa nyumba kumi. Mzee wa nyumba kumi will be able to guide and even call the next party, so that that party can come with the surveyor and of course make an agreement. If you will not agree on that on the boundary, again the chief will just submit the letter to the land registry, so that they can issue summons in both of you, and you will have a date with the district surveyor to establish that beacon, whether it is in the right place or not.
Exactly.
So, and don't make dramas. Yeah, sometimes I usually go
Mm-hmm.
some places and wonder, is this person after Abadan?
Actually, what happens is that when you go to this place, somebody has moved there because they
Yeah,
are so irritant, and they
true.
don't want to sit down and understand.
Yeah,
Okay,
true.
let's come to a point of reasoning. Do we
Mm-hmm.
have a map?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't just say that somewhere aliniwekea hapa. No, it doesn't go like that.
Yeah.
And we have to sit down and understand what did the surveyor use to establish this beacon. From that point of understanding, we can be able to say whether the surveyor did a wrong thing, or it's truly that your beacons, they are not in the right position. So it is better, as he is saying, to follow the legal steps.
And allow me to add something, William.
Yes.
If you saw a surveyor coming in your area, even if you are not invited and you feel that your light will not be reserved for them doing the beacons, just approach a surveyor. Approach a surveyor through the person who have given that surveyor that work. If you have additional information, sometimes we get shocked when we met some clients, we met some neighbors. They know exactly where the beacon we should be, but they still wait for you to do the mistake and cause all the necessary drama, the information the best you can. Yes, so that you avoid these chaos. So the next kind of a question the client usually ask is, how long does the submission take? Allow me to be sincere, I say this, based on different localities, it can depend, yeah, because some approvals in different, like I said, there is this board that sits once per month. So maybe the client might opt to go through that monthly board. There's this special board. It all depends with the location, the localities, and the authorities that have been attached to ensure that the subdivision is done. Sometimes you can apply for the subdivision in the county, na maybe wako recess kule Mombasa. There's nothing we can do. So, but we usually try our level best. Just keep, what I can say on this question is that you can just keep a good relationship with your surveyor, keep on communicating, keep on, just want to understand the reason why maybe there is a delay. It will be good for you. So, and it is not, ni kama hainywawi kama ya mwenzako. Let me put it that way so that we understand. So usikuseme ati yule alifanya subdivision within 2 weeks title zake zilikuwa zimetoka. So just be patient enough and keep communication with your surveyor.
Thank you very much. So that is what we had in store for you guys today. So we are still waiting for your questions. If you have any question, any clarification that you might need, so that you can go to understand how land subdivision process goes, from the very basic up to the time that maybe you get the new title deeds. So it's not a very rigorous process. So today we just thought of shedding some light to you guys so that you can understand. So we are welcome to hear your feedback from you guys, and yeah.
Thank you. I see. I'm saying that. I'm learning a lot. Thank you, Joyland Because Limited, for the clear steps. You are guiding us so well. Thank you so much. We also appreciate the fact that you have taken your time to watch. I can see, of course, Joyland Beacon speaking more. I can see Zipora Munyari for our civic education. Thank you so much, Zipora, for tuning in. Thank you so much, Laban from Neely County, for tuning in. Thank you so much, Samantha. Hey, I'm learning so much. Thank you. We really appreciate those people who are watching us, those who are watching us. Tony, there's this Tony, we are watching. Thank you so much. And also, thank you, Delito, for we really need this information. Thank you, Joyland. We also thank you, Delito, for tuning in.
Yes, and remember here at Joylands, we are also selling parcels of land.
So I can see even Shanice Jerry saying, I'm learning so much. Oh my goodness. You don't know how much you make us feel when we understand that we are passing the knowledge on to you. So that when you are doing the subdivision, you have the knowledge of how you can do it. Thank you. Thank you those who have watched. Thank you those who are sharing. We really appreciate it. And if you have any question before we leave, I believe that we cannot end this time before we answer your question. If you have any question in regards succession, regards any question about land, you can be able to ask. You are not limited because that we are speaking about the subdivision. You cannot be able maybe to ask what is burning in your heart, and we shall answer. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, guys.
Okay, so let us go to the break because I want to hold a phone and to check on the TikTok for the few people who have been watching and take their questions. So thank you guys. Thank you. We are back. I was just checking on those people who are watching on TikTok. I may not be able to answer them all, but allow me to answer Wambo from TikTok, who is asking, can you talk about mutation and a green card? Thank you. I think we were able to talk about the mutation, but we can be able to repeat the same because we have a slide on that. And I will, of course, give a little bit about what is a green card, what a green card entails, and I know, Wambo, you will be contented with our questions. So allow me to welcome, as I welcome William to talk about the mutation. Let me recognize those people who are watching. I can see Annie is watching. I can see many people from TikTok family. Oh, this is so amazing. God bless you so much for tuning in. God bless you so much for the flowers you are sending to us. This is so amazing. We never thought that this education will be much help to this kind of. This is so amazing. This is so amazing. God bless you so much. So, William, answer kindly answer one more. Talk about the nutrition. I will of course talk about the green.
Yes, Wambo, thank you very much for tuning in. We have seen your question about the nutrition. So I'm going to take you through in a very, very simple way and not complicated so you can be able to understand it. So when you talk about a nutrition form, it's called the LLA 27. It's under the Land Registration Act 27. So basically the nutrition form is a document that shows how a parcel has been subdivided, how a parcel has been combined, because sometimes a client wants to combine two parcels of land into one parcel of land. So a mutation form, it links the old title to the new parcels of land. So if I had a parcel of land, let's say I had 5 acres, I did a subdivision of that land into like 3 times. So you have 3 more parcels of land. So the mutation form, it links the old the old parcel of land or the mother title to these new parcels. So the invitation form basically it is filled in triplicate into 3 forms, whereby it has the signatures of the licensed surveyor, because the licensed surveyor has to approve that that piece of land has been subdivided according to the rules of surveying. It also has the stamp of an advocate or a lawyer, whereby the lawyer stamps and approves that subdivision. So normally, what does the mutation form contain? The mutation form has 4 pages. So the first page is where you indicate the details of the owner, and the other page, the second page, the
And I
media
think even
team
the
is
media
going
team can
to
display the
display
mutation.
the mutation form.
I think the media team can display the
Yeah,
mutation.
I believe you can see the mutation form. You can see the first page, what it contains. You can see the second page. The second page contains the drawing itself. Then the third page, it contains the measurements. And as you can see, the red lines, they represent the new boundaries now after the land has been subdivided. And below that, you can see the stamps and the approvals by the licensed surveyor. And then if you go to the last page it has the new numbers of the new parcels of land that have been subdivided. So that basically is what we call a mutation form. So this mutation form, it is taken to the land registry and it helps in amending the map. It helps in processing of the new title deeds. So I believe we have explained to you what a mutation form is in a manner that you can be able to understand.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wambo, in just a layman language, a mutation is what it is the documents that showcase the drawing of how the land have been subdivided, and of course the one that undergoes all those approvals before it gets into a registration and later on do an amendment to the map. And generally, in Kenya, we have 2 categories whereby we can where the communication can flow from. Yeah, the land can be on a settlement. Settlement. All lands belongs to the government, right? In one particular time, they used to belong to the national government. Later on, they were issued to the settlements of a group land. So, and then the group lands, that is where now the group lands they make a map, an RIM map, and that RIM map it showcases the bigger chunk of lands in different areas, the roads, and how they have been the rivers, yeah, all those land escapements. But now when it comes down to subdivision, that is where now the mutation is needed. Maybe you have, and a good example, you have 200 acre of land. You want to subdivide. This land was issued to you by the group land through the national government. So you are the first person, you are indigenous person, and that is the criteria the government use. From the group land, the members of the group land must be an indigenous people of that place. So that means after that, this indigenous person gets the mutation if he want to subdivide the 200 acres. Remember, if you want to subdivide the 200 acres, the first mutation that you will be drawing will originate from the RIM, yeah, and from now henceforth that will serve as an original number as other persons follows until the last part of it.
That is well put.
Yes, so allow me to, of course, again touch on the green card. I saw Wambo was asking about the green card. What is this green card? The reason why I have given an example of how mutation originates, I want to relate it with a green card. After the government issues these big lands to indigenous people of a particular place, and my client now gets, allow me to use the same example of 200 acres. He has 200 acres. He wants to subdivide. So maybe he wants to subdivide now into 5 portions. Yeah. So when he subdivides into 5 portions, the first green card that was issued, it was issued in his name. The first green card was issued to adjudication office, that is through the government to the group land. Later on, the adjudication now issues the titles. They undergo the issuance of the titles through that program. They give to you. Now you are the first person to open the green card in the registry. Of course, yes. Subdividing it into how many? Into 5 portions, like my sample on this. So 5 portions. Those now, that is now the history. And when you subdivide it, now you open a green card. Green card is a document that showcases the owner from the original owner all the way to the current owner. It is the document that the government holds. Yeah, and that is where the title, all the titles originates. Yeah, the search. That is why we usually conduct search, because the title the government issues, every detail that is in the title deed must again relate with the green card. Yeah, and in the green card there are those what do you call them? Who is the original owner? It of course again entails the size of the land and how many times that land have been subdivided. So if you have an issue somewhere and maybe you want to understand the history, that is the document to do a green card copy search. It is a little bit expensive, but it is so much important because it will help you understand where maybe that has more. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a lot of thank you because you people, you have followed us. You thank you for the question we were able to ask. Thank you for those who are able to join. Thank you for all of you. Hey, makofi mazuri kwa viewers wetu kwa kukubali kujoin. Thank you William for of course accepting to give this information, pass this information to our viewers. And I also appreciate our media team for the good work. Thank you, our client, for of course, when we are talking, I was just thinking on my phone and people keep on calling. As I wind up, remember that we are comprised of surveyors. So if you have somewhere you want as a subdivision, a surveyor you want to contribute your land to be confirmed, you want a surveyor maybe to resurvey your land, you want maybe to do a subdivision, we will be much happy to get that priority. Not forgetting to mention that we are licensed to work across the country. So not only in Kajiado, it is only that we are based here in Ongatarongai. Times are fast from 114. However, we can be able to come out at your door.
Exactly.
Yes, to deliver our services. So yes.
Yes, so just give us a call on the number below.
Yeah.
You can get to reach us, and we are ready, and we are convenient and flexible enough. We will not disappoint you. We will follow the due diligence. We will follow the right processes, and at the end of the day, you're going to become a satisfied customer. So we are looking forward to working with you guys. We are going to bring more information concerning some of these issues like succession and other issues about land that most people don't understand quite well. So, guys, keep following us, keep working with us in this journey. We are ready to work with you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, William. As I wind up, I just want to remind you that we have 50 by 100 plots here in Ongatarungai Kadisi areas gestation that is going for only 1.5 million. You can just grab your land before the portions are over. It is good to remind you that the place is well developed. There is water, electricity, there is all amenities in place, and all our title deeds have, all our plots have ready title deeds. All you want to be, the call to action is just to call the number on the screen, or you can just book site visit with us here tomorrow and Saturday. We have the mega site visit. We had 97 plots, but now we are remaining with less than 24. But we believe it is not too late for you. You can still book your site visit on this weekend and take you there. So allow me, before I wind up, to say thank you to my co-director who have of course made this happen, and even other technical teams that ensured that our life is well and kicking. So my part in short, education is power. Never fail to understand. Never. Many people fail because of lack of knowledge. So if you get an opportunity to listen and of course to get this basic education, kindly don't fail to of course retrieve the video and watch it, and even pass it, or is it to forward it to your friends, because I believe whatever we have been saying here, it is much help to all of us. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening. As Nani William says, Waheri.
Thank you very much. Have yourself a very great evening, and we will be back shortly with yet another video, another inspirational video, another educational video. So keep in touch, guys. We love you. Joyland.
Your signature.